Welcome back to TV Tuesdays. And today I want to introduce my friend Harrison Funk. Harrison owns a company called Four Seasons Care. And I had the opportunity to sit down with Harrison last week over coffee and learn more about his business. And I thought you guys would be interested as well because a lot of us have aging parents and we need to know about the service that Harrison's company provides. So, Harrison, welcome and tell us a little bit about yourself and why you got into the business.
Well, thank you so much, Sarah, for having me on. I appreciate the opportunity to chat with your audience. Yeah, it's a type of service that every family needs, right? And we all deal with aging loved ones, and it's always a question as to what's the right solution for their aging journey, and that answer may change over time as well. And so the part that we play is sending certified caregivers into our clients' homes to really help them with all of the everyday tasks that it takes to age in place. And I got into the business because some loved ones of mine needed this type of care. And it was a process to figure out what exactly the right solution for them was. But ultimately, they wanted to stay at home for as long as possible. And I know that that's a common story that people hear,
Yeah,
um, and people go through as well.
it is. I hear it, and my parents wanted to do the same thing. We finally talked my dad into going into assisted living, and he said, "Oh my gosh, I should have done this years ago." But they play bridge on Friday, they do dancing. So he was quite the extrovert in that way, but it would not have worked well for my mom. So um anyway, I just love the fact that you vet these people because when you allow someone to come into your home and care intimately for your loved ones, it's a huge trust thing. So how do you go about the vetting process?
Yeah, you're exactly right. It is not an easy decision to have someone come in and work with your loved ones and be in their space. But a lot of times we talk with folks that are resistant to having a caregiver come into their home and help them with tasks by talking to them about the value of staying in their home, right? And because if you think about it, even though your father had a great experience with a senior living community, sometimes folks want to be surrounded by their memories and
Oh
and they're
yeah,
they're okay they're okay with being more
100%.
independent at home. And so if that's their goal, having a caregiver come in and assist them with all of their everyday tasks really helps keep them independent in their home. And so you kind of just have to steer the conversation to help them understand that a caregiver coming to them is it helps them be independent at home if that's what they want to do. Of course, senior living communities have their place, and there's a lot of value to that in the right context. But you're right. I mean, identifying whether or not the folks that are coming to assist your loved ones are right for them in the home setting, it can be unnerving. And so we go through a really thorough process to make sure that we are hiring experienced folks. So they have to have a minimum of 2 years of direct hands-on caregiving experience to work with us, number one. Number two, we do a certified background check on them. And then we also um, go through a fingerprinting process, which is actually required now by the state of Georgia. So they
Good.
go through the Georgia Bureau of Investigations database, as well as the OIG database. So just gives us additional tools to make sure that the people that we're hiring and are training and are sending to your loved ones actually have a really um, professional vetting process.
Well, one of the things that stood out to me when we had coffee was that I told you a friend of mine or one of my clients had his mother fell and broke her hip, and now they were looking at a whole new lifestyle, whole new journey. And what was your response to me?
It's a story we hear over and over and over and over
Right.
again. A lot of times the things that we go through in life, it doesn't even necessarily apply to or need to apply to this situation, but we think we're the only ones going through it, right? And difficult journeys in life, typically are a shared experience. And the aging process is exactly the same way. I mean, what typically happens is everything will be fine. Mom or dad are aging at home. They're taken care of. You talk to them maybe every day, maybe once a week, once a month, whatever. Everything's going fine. And then you're at work in the middle of your work day, and all of a sudden you get a call that mom's being taken to the hospital because she fell and may or may not have broken something, right? And so what that typically, the cascading events from there are a hospital stay followed by typically a rehab visit to make sure that mom is regaining her strength, and we start working with her again with that broken elbow, let's say. And then we talk about maybe transitioning her back home as an example. And so that process, it's really helpful to have another set of hands um, by a professional caregiver, right, in that situation, because it's hard for the families that we serve to just drop everything and become full-time caregivers, right? Like I mentioned in that scenario, you may have been in the middle of your workday, had to drop everything and run to the hospital to see mom, right? And so typically what happens is families will all of a sudden take the preceding uh, week or 2 weeks off of work and just do hands-on caregiving experience or caregiving tasks, and have to work with the discharge planners and try to figure out this whole healthcare system in a matter of a couple of weeks. Wherein the alternative is you call a company like us, we help you navigate that process, get home, get mom home with professional caregivers, and really take a lot of the burden off the families that we serve.
Well, I think this is just a brief glimpse into your business. And I would say, Harrison, we're going to share the link to your website at the end of this video and your contact information. But I just strongly encourage my baby boomer friends to put Harrison in your contacts, because you never know when mom or dad are going to fall, or heck, even you. I broke my foot last fall and still dealing with that. So we're all facing different challenges. So, well, that's all for today. And Harrison, thanks so much for coming on, and bye for now.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I appreciate it.